Are you ready for E3? With Sony not participating this year, presumably to host their own PlayStation 5 event at a later date. This E3 doesn't quite have the hype that I'm used to, but let's look at some of the titles you may or may not be expecting from each of the big companies who will attend, and perhaps there's something which grabs your attention. I collected most of my info in a handy guide compiled by ScreenRant.com, so check them out if you want to find out more. If you'd like to subscribe to Little Big Animation, we make fun videos to brighten up your day, with our very own animations, abridged episodes, and extensive coverage of the mega PS4 creation game Dreams, as well as a bunch of other interesting games. The first big conference at E3 will be held before the event in the form of EA Play, which will have several consecutive live streams. EA Play will open with a stream about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is an upcoming action-adventure game that tells the story of Cal Kestis and must now survive in a galaxy that has turned hostile to the Jedi Order. EA haven't exactly done the Star Wars license much justice, having already canned a single-player experience from the now disassembled Visceral Games, who, just like their previous titles, are now dead. This could be EA's chance to redeem previous comments when they claimed that single-player games were no longer relevant. Coming from the same developer, Respawn Entertainment, the second livestream will focus on Apex Legends and the content associated with its Season 2 Battle Pass. Apex Legends has seen a huge drop in its player base, which means that the developers will need to win the audience back with an impressive range of new content for the game. Battle Royale games are nice and all, but I've never been able to truly appreciate them. Although Sony won't be attending, the other big hitter, Microsoft, will. I don't own an Xbox One, but I'm sure some of you will be excited for what Microsoft has to offer. You can expect the usual lineup of Gears 5, Halo Infinite, which will focus on Master Chief and has been referred to as a spiritual reboot of the series. We could also be seeing Halo the Master Chief Collection announced for the PC. Maybe once and for all I can play these games with a system I own. One game that is rumoured to be appearing is Fable 4, which would be the first new game in the series since 2010. Will it finally be the best RPG it was always proclaimed to be? Plus, there are games that have been announced by Microsoft at previous events that could also make an appearance, such as Battletoads, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Gears Pop and Gears Tactics. CD Projekt Red is hosting a conference during the E3 Coliseum portion of the event, but it had previously shown footage of the highly anticipated Cyberpunk 2077 during the 28th Xbox E3 pre-show. Cyberpunk 2077 is the company's next big game and is promising to be a huge open-world RPG adventure in a grim science fiction setting. Great Rune is the name of a rumoured collaboration between Game of Thrones creator George R.R. Martin and From Software, which is said to be a dark fantasy game that is inspired by Norse mythology. There are rumours that the game is going to be announced during the Microsoft conference. There are also the newly acquired studios that were purchased by Microsoft in 2018 to consider, which means that The Outer Worlds and Wasteland 3 are strong candidates to appear during the Microsoft conference as well. The Outer Worlds is a massive RPG set in a science fiction universe, where the main character must explore a colony at the edge of the galaxy. There is also Wasteland 3, which combines a similar setting to the Fallout series with a fast-paced tactical RPG battles. The only game confirmed to be appearing at Bethesda's E3 conference is Doom Eternal, which will be the fifth game in the Doom series and is promising to double the number of demon types that the player can slaughter. I actually started playing the Perilous Doom recently, but after 4 levels in, I just couldn't get into it. For me, it got a bit repetitive far too quickly, but I know the game has its fans who would say otherwise. We can also expect to see new expansions for Wolfenstein 2. Wolfenstein Youngblood is a first-person shooter that is set in an alternative universe where World War II is still going on during the 80s, and the daughters of B.J. Blazkowicz have to journey to Nazi-occupied Paris in order to save their father. Todd It Just Works Howard has confirmed that neither Starfield nor The Elder Scrolls 6 will be appearing at E3 2019 due to the fact that they need to increase the bug and microtransaction count to break records as well as your console. That was a joke, but I know for a second you thought that it could be true. And whilst we're on the subject of games with a love-hate relationship, you can be sure to see Fortnite in all its microtransaction glory. Damn you Epic Games and your solid business plan. Square Enix's E3 conference is one of the most highly anticipated of the show. Sony's recent State of Play event showed new footage from the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which concluded with a message saying that more information is coming in June. If Square Enix is finally ready to show the game again, then it's possible that a release date might be forthcoming. The other big title that has been announced for Square Enix's E3 press conference is Marvel's Avengers, formerly known as the Avengers Project, which is a game that is being made by the teams behind the Tomb Raider series and the recent Deus Ex titles. Ubisoft has confirmed that its E3 pre-show will contain updates for games that have already been released, including Steep, For Honor, Trials, and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. The main Ubisoft conference is confirmed to feature updates about The Division 2 and to have more information about the upcoming Ghost Recon Breakpoint. It has also been confirmed that Rainbow Six Siege will be coming to next-gen consoles as updated titles, as well as the backwards compatible editions, so we may see that being repeated. There are also rumours that a new Splinter Cell game is in development, which is about time. I've been waiting so long for a new game, just give us one already. It's crazy to think that there hasn't been a single Splinter Cell game this entire generation, especially considering the previous game, Blacklist, was excellent. Ubisoft has confirmed that there are no new Assassin's Creed games due to be released in 2019, but they could still promote a 2020 title this E3. As always, Nintendo will be hosting their own Nintendo Direct online. I really need to get a Switch already. There's so many quality games on the system, and I'll be curious to see what they have up their sleeve next. The Nintendo Direct is supposed to be focusing on Nintendo Switch games that are due to release in 2019. There are rumours that the focus of the Direct will be on Animal Crossing, which is one of the Nintendo Switch's biggest games of the year, yet almost no information has been revealed about it so far. There are two games in the Legend of Zelda series due in 2019, Cadence of Hyrule and The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, which will both almost certainly make an appearance. The second DLC character for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate will likely also be revealed at E3, with different leaks claiming that it will be a representative from the Dragon Quest series. Pokemon Sword and Shield will have a separate direct that is focused on them, but the games will still likely appear at the event. Bayonetta 3 was mentioned in passing during the February 2019 Direct, which suggests that the game could appear at E3, as almost no new information has been revealed since its announcement. There are several new games that are due to be released over the next coming months, such as Astro Chain, Luigi's Mansion 3, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, and Super Mario Maker 2 that are all likely to appear at E3. Some other games we'd like to see more of include Borderlands 3. The loot and shoot game will be taking the series to the stars, as the players will be able to leave Pandora and explore new parts of the galaxy. Dying Light 2, which is a survival horror game set in a city following a zombie apocalypse, where the player's choices will determine the fate of the environment around them. I wouldn't mind seeing more reviews from Sony regarding Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima, and The Last of Us 2 over on YouTube, with further trailers and droplets of news to keep them included in all the E3 fun. There are also some events planned, such as one based around the upcoming Psychonauts 2, which will feature Jack Black. The game was funded back in 2016, and the game is finally due to be released this year. A Darksiders event too, which is meant to end with a reveal for a brand new Darksiders game that takes the franchise in a fresh direction, which is a bit of a relief when you consider that Darksiders 3 looks like... well, you can finish that sentence, I'm sure. The last game to receive its own event will be Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey, which is an upcoming third-person survival game that is set in prehistoric Africa. It looks interesting in theory, but I would like to see more of this game before I make any judgments. So what grabbed your attention? Is there anything we missed out that you're excited to see? Let us know down in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.
Halt! Hands up!
Have fun.
I'm here for you, to help take the load off your shoulders.
So, what's our next move, boss?
That's easy enough.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Here, this is for you.
A flower?
bear to see the planet suffer. Cloud.